Come, let us build ourselves a city, with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves, otherwise we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth. Genesis 11 verse 4. In the ancient city of Babylon, a bold plan was set into motion. The people, united by a single language, sought to construct a tower that would reach the heavens. Their ambition was not just to build a monument, but to cement their legacy, to defy the gods, and to create a name that would echo through eternity. This tower, known as the Tower of Babel, symbolized humanity's desire to reach beyond their mortal constraints and achieve the divine. The city of Babylon was a thriving metropolis, a hub of culture, trade, and innovation. Its citizens were skilled in various arts and sciences, and their unity gave them unparalleled strength. This unity was both their greatest asset and their potential downfall. The decision to build the tower was driven by a collective ambition to transcend human limitations and to challenge the divine order. What drove these ancient builders to such audacious heights? Was it mere pride, or was there something more profound at play? The desire to reach the heavens could be seen as a metaphor for humanity's unending quest for knowledge and progress. Yet, it also represented a dangerous overreach, a hubris that threatened to bring about their downfall. As the tower rose higher, so did the people's sense of invincibility. They believed that their collective effort could overcome any obstacle, even those set by the gods. This belief in their own power was both inspiring and perilous. It showcased the potential of human collaboration but also highlighted the risks of unchecked ambition. The story of the Tower of Babel serves as a powerful reminder of the dual nature of human ambition. On one hand, it drives us to achieve great things, to push the boundaries of what is possible. On the other hand, it can lead to arrogance and a disregard for natural limits. The Tale of Babel is a cautionary story about the need for balance between aspiration and humility. Reflecting on this story, we are left with many questions. How do we balance the drive for progress with the need for humility? Can human ambition coexist with respect for natural and divine boundaries? What lessons can we draw from the ancient builders of Babel that apply to our modern world? Consider these questions and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights and reflections are a valuable part of our exploration of these ancient narratives. Be sure to watch our other videos on ancient civilizations and their mysterious monuments. Don't forget to subscribe to Celestial Chronicles for more fascinating insights into our shared history. Babylon's Golden Age. The city of Babylon was one of the most famous and influential cities in ancient history. Situated on the banks of the Euphrates River, it was a vibrant hub of culture, trade, and architectural brilliance. At the heart of this great city was the Tower of Babel, a symbol of human ambition and ingenuity. But Babylon's significance extended far beyond this one monumental project. The city was renowned for its remarkable architecture, advanced science, and cultural achievements. During its golden age, Babylon was a marvel of the ancient world. The city was protected by massive walls that stretched for miles, constructed to defend against any potential invaders. These walls were so wide that chariots could be driven along the top, side by side. Within these fortifications lay a city teeming with life and innovation. One of the most astonishing features of Babylon was the Hanging Gardens, which were considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These gardens were said to be a terraced series of lush green plants and flowers, watered by an intricate irrigation system that drew water from the Euphrates River. Though the exact location and even the existence of the Hanging Gardens have been subjects of debate among historians, the legend of their beauty has endured through the centuries. King Nebuchadnezzar II, who ruled Babylon from 605 to 562 BCE, was one of the most prominent figures in the city's history. He was a visionary leader and a great builder. Under his reign, Babylon reached its peak of glory. Nebuchadnezzar embarked on numerous construction projects to beautify and fortify the city. He is credited with building the Ishtar Gate, one of the most famous landmarks of ancient Babylon. This grand entrance to the city was adorned with images of dragons, bulls, and other creatures, glazed in vibrant blue tiles that glistened in the sun. Nebuchadnezzar's ambitions extended beyond architecture. He sought to make Babylon a center of learning and culture. The city became a melting pot of ideas and knowledge, attracting scholars and artisans from across the ancient world. Libraries were established, and advances were made in various fields such as mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. The city's scholars made significant contributions to our understanding of the world, many of which laid the foundation for future discoveries. The prosperity and innovation of Babylon during this time were not merely for show. They were also a means of demonstrating the city's power and influence. The grandeur of Babylon was intended to awe and intimidate both its citizens and its rivals. Nebuchadnezzar's projects served as a testament to his desire for a lasting legacy, to be remembered as one of the greatest kings in history. Yet, despite its grandeur, Babylon was also a city of contrasts. Alongside its architectural wonders and intellectual achievements, it was a place of political intrigue and social stratification. The wealth and luxury enjoyed by the elite stood in stark contrast to the lives of the common people, who often labored tirelessly to support the city's grandeur. The construction of monumental projects like the Tower of Babel and the Hanging Gardens required immense resources and labor, much of which came from the city's lower classes and from conquered peoples. Nebuchadnezzar's reign was also marked by military campaigns and conquests. He expanded Babylon's territory through strategic warfare, bringing many neighboring lands under Babylonian control. One of his most notable military achievements was the conquest of Jerusalem and the subsequent destruction of the Temple of Solomon in 586 BCE. This event had profound religious and cultural implications, especially for the Jewish people, many of whom were taken into exile in Babylon. The Babylonian exile left an indelible mark on Jewish history and scripture, influencing later narratives and theological reflections. Despite its eventual decline and fall, the legacy of Babylon continued to influence subsequent cultures and civilizations. The city's achievements in architecture, governance, and learning set standards that many later societies aspired to. The story of its rise and fall, and the tales of its legendary projects, like the Tower of Babel, have been told and retold through the ages. Babylon's golden age stands as a testament to what human ambition and collaboration can achieve, but it also serves as a reminder of the complexities and contradictions that come with great power. As we reflect on Babylon's history, we can see parallels in our own world. The pursuit of grandeur and progress continues to drive human endeavors, often accompanied by challenges and ethical dilemmas. What lessons can we learn from the rise and fall of such a magnificent city? How do we balance the pursuit of progress with the need for social equity and ethical considerations? These are questions that remain relevant today, as we look back on Babylon's golden age and its enduring impact on human history. Join us in the discussion and share your thoughts on Babylon's legacy. Don't forget to watch our other videos on ancient civilizations and subscribe to Celestial Chronicles for more insights into the fascinating stories of our past. Saddam Hussein's obsession. In the late 20th century, the ancient city of Babylon caught the attention of one of the most controversial figures in modern history, Saddam Hussein, the former president of Iraq. His fascination with Babylon was not merely academic or historical, it was deeply intertwined with his political ambitions and self-image. Hussein saw himself as a modern incarnation of the great Babylonian king, Nebuchadnezzar II. This belief drove him to embark on an ambitious and controversial project to reconstruct the ancient city, aiming to restore its former glory and, by extension, elevate his own status on the world stage. Hussein's obsession with Babylon began in earnest in the 1980s. At that time, Iraq was embroiled in a devastating war with Iran, and Hussein was looking for ways to bolster national pride and unity. The ancient legacy of Babylon provided a powerful symbol around which he could rally the Iraqi people. By aligning himself with Nebuchadnezzar, a figure renowned for his military prowess and monumental building projects, Hussein hoped to project an image of strength and continuity. The reconstruction efforts were monumental. Hussein poured vast amounts of resources into rebuilding parts of Babylon, focusing on key structures such as the Ishtar Gate and the walls of the city. His vision was grandiose, to recreate Babylon as it might have appeared at the height of its glory. This included using modern construction techniques and materials, often over the existing ancient ruins, which sparked significant controversy among archaeologists and historians. The project was not purely historical. Hussein incorporated elements that linked his regime to the ancient past in overt ways. For example, many of the new bricks used in the reconstruction were inscribed with his name alongside Nebuchadnezzar's, cementing the connection between the two leaders. These inscriptions read, "In the reign of the victorious Saddam Hussein, the President of the Republic, may God keep him, the guardian of the great Iraq, and the renovator of its renaissance and the builder of its great civilization." The rebuilding of the great city of Babylon was done in 1987. The reconstruction of Babylon was more than a cultural or nationalistic endeavor, it was a political statement. Hussein's actions sent a clear message to both his people and the international community. Iraq was a nation with a grand historical legacy, and he was the leader who would restore its greatness. This message was particularly significant in the context of Iraq's geopolitical struggles, as it sought to assert its dominance and resist Western influence. However, Hussein's reconstruction project faced severe criticism. Many archaeologists and historians decried the reconstruction as a form of historical vandalism. They argued that the use of modern materials and methods, as well as the addition of Hussein's inscriptions, damaged the integrity of the ancient site. The original ruins, which had stood for millennia, were altered in ways that made it difficult to distinguish between the ancient and the modern. Critics also pointed out that Hussein's project was less about preserving history and more about creating propaganda. By linking himself to Nebuchadnezzar, Hussein was attempting to legitimize his rule through an imagined continuity with the ancient past. This use of history as a political tool was seen by many as manipulative and self-serving. The international community also had mixed reactions to Hussein's project. While some appreciated the renewed interest in Babylon's history, many were wary of the political motivations behind it. The Reconstruction was seen as an attempt to distract from the more troubling aspects of Hussein's regime, including human rights abuses and aggressive military actions. Additionally, the focus on ancient glories seemed to underscore Hussein's dictatorial ambitions rather than a genuine respect for Iraq's cultural heritage. Despite the controversies, the project continued until the early 1990s, when Iraq faced significant upheaval due to the Gulf War. The war and subsequent international sanctions severely limited Iraq's ability to continue the reconstruction, and the focus shifted away from grandiose projects to more immediate concerns of survival and rebuilding the nation's infrastructure. In the years following Hussein's downfall in 2003, Babylon's reconstruction site became a point of reflection and debate. The ruins, now a mix of ancient remains and Hussein-era reconstructions, serve as a complex symbol of Iraq's turbulent history. They reflect the nation's ancient past, its more recent struggles under dictatorship, and the ongoing challenges of preserving cultural heritage in times of conflict and change. Today, efforts continue to protect and preserve what remains of Babylon. International organizations, such as UNESCO, have stepped in to help manage and restore the site in a manner that respects its historical significance. These efforts aim to correct some of the damage done by Hussein's heavy-handed reconstruction and to promote a more accurate and respectful understanding of Babylon's legacy. The story of Saddam Hussein's obsession with Babylon is a powerful example of how history can be manipulated for political purposes. It raises important questions about the ethics of reconstruction and the responsibilities of leaders in preserving cultural heritage. How should we balance the need to protect ancient sites with the desire to revive and celebrate historical legacies? And what lessons can we learn from the ways in which history is used to serve contemporary agendas? As we reflect on Hussein's reconstruction of Babylon, we are reminded of the enduring significance of this ancient city. Its story continues to captivate and challenge us, offering insights into the complexities of human ambition, the manipulation of history, and the ongoing quest to connect with our past. Join us in the discussion and share your thoughts on this fascinating chapter of history. Be sure to watch our other videos on ancient civilizations and subscribe to Celestial Chronicles for more in-depth explorations of our shared heritage. Ancient myths and legends. The story of the Tower of Babel is deeply rooted in a rich tapestry of ancient myths and legends that have fascinated humanity for millennia. While the biblical account of Babel is perhaps the most well-known, similar themes and narratives can be found in cultures around the world. These myths often reflect humanity's enduring quest to understand its origins, the divine, and the natural world. They also serve as powerful allegories for the human condition, capturing our dreams, fears, and moral lessons. The Tower of Babel, according to the Bible, was built by a united humanity speaking a single language. Their goal was to construct a tower that would reach the heavens, symbolizing their collective ambition and desire to be equal with the gods. However, God intervened, confusing their language and scattering them across the earth. This act not only halted their ambitious project but also gave rise to the diversity of languages and cultures we see today. Beyond the Bible, the ancient Mesopotamian region, where Babylon was located, was rich with its own myths and legends. The Sumerians, Akkadians, and later Babylonians had stories that intertwined with the themes of divine intervention, human ambition, and cosmic order. One such tale is the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known literary works, which tells the story of a king's quest for immortality and his encounters with gods and mythical creatures. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the protagonist, King Gilgamesh of Uruk, embarks on a journey to find the secret of eternal life. Along the way, he meets Utnapishtim, a figure similar to the biblical Noah, who survived a great flood sent by the gods to destroy humanity. This flood myth shares striking similarities with the story of Noah's Ark, highlighting the common motifs of divine punishment and survival found in many ancient cultures. Another significant myth from the region is the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation epic. This story describes the origins of the world and the rise of the god Marduk, who defeats the chaos monster Tiamat to establish order. The Enuma Elish emphasizes themes of cosmic struggle, the establishment of divine order, and the legitimization of kingship, mirroring the grand narrative of Babylon's rise to power. The mythological landscape of the ancient Near East was also populated with tales of gods and giants. These stories often depicted epic battles between divine beings and formidable giants or monsters. In many cultures, giants represented chaos and primal forces that needed to be subdued by the gods to maintain order in the universe. The myths of the Nephilim in the Hebrew Bible, giants who lived before and after the Great Flood, are an example of this theme. They are often interpreted as beings born from the union of divine beings and humans, symbolizing a time when the boundaries between the divine and mortal realms were less distinct. These myths and legends were not confined to the Near East. Ancient Greece, for example, had its own pantheon of gods and a rich tradition of mythological stories. The Greeks believed in a world where gods frequently interacted with humans, often leading to heroic quests and tragic tales. The story of the Titan Prometheus, who defied Zeus to bring fire to humanity and suffered eternal punishment as a result, echoes the theme of human ambition and divine retribution found in the Tower of Babel narrative. The myths of pre-flood civilizations also resonate with tales from around the world. In Hindu mythology, there is the story of Manu, the first man, who survives a great deluge with the help of the god Vishnu. In Chinese mythology, there is the story of Nuwa, a goddess who repairs the heavens after a great flood. These stories reflect a universal fascination with the idea of a cataclysmic flood and the rebirth of civilization, emphasizing themes of destruction, survival, and renewal. The influence of these ancient myths extends beyond their cultural origins. They have shaped the literature, art, and religious beliefs of countless societies throughout history. The story of the Tower of Babel, for example, has inspired numerous works of art, from medieval manuscripts to modern paintings. It has also been the subject of theological debate, philosophical inquiry, and literary reinterpretation. In literature, the Tower of Babel has been used as a powerful metaphor for human ambition and the consequences of overreaching. It appears in works by authors such as Dante Alighieri, who references it in his Divine Comedy, and Jorge Luis Borges, who explores its themes in his short story, The Library of Babel. These literary works reflect the enduring fascination with the story and its ability to capture the complexities of human nature. The themes of the Tower of Babel and other ancient myths also find resonance in modern times. The idea of a single, ambitious project that aims to unite humanity but ultimately leads to division can be seen in various aspects of contemporary society. From the rise and fall of empires to the challenges of global communication and cooperation, the lessons of Babel remain relevant. As we explore these ancient myths and legends, we are reminded of the timeless nature of storytelling and its power to convey profound truths about the human experience. These stories connect us to our ancestors, offering insights into their beliefs, values, and struggles. They also challenge us to reflect on our own ambitions, limitations, and the delicate balance between aspiration and humility. Join us in the discussion and share your thoughts on the myths and legends that have shaped our understanding of history and humanity. Be sure to watch our other videos on ancient civilizations and subscribe to Celestial Chronicles for more in-depth explorations of our shared heritage. Biblical and religious perspectives. The story of the Tower of Babel is a compelling narrative found in the book of Genesis, and it has profound implications in various religious traditions. This story is not just about an ancient construction project, it delves into themes of human ambition, divine intervention, and the origins of cultural diversity. Let's explore how different religious perspectives interpret this fascinating tale and its theological implications. In the Christian tradition, the Tower of Babel is often seen as a moral lesson about pride and disobedience. According to the Bible, the people of Babel, united by a single language, decided to build a tower that reached the heavens. Their goal was to make a name for themselves and avoid being scattered across the earth. However, God observed their actions and decided to intervene. He confused their language, causing them to speak different tongues, and scattered them across the globe. This divine act was a response to human hubris, the belief that they could challenge the divine order and achieve godlike status. From a theological standpoint, the story serves as a reminder of humanity's limitations and the importance of humility. It warns against the dangers of collective pride and the assumption that human efforts can replace divine will. The scattering of the people and the confusion of languages are seen as both a punishment and a necessary action to maintain the balance between human ambition and divine authority. In Jewish tradition, the story of the Tower of Babel also carries significant weight. The narrative is interpreted as an exploration of unity and diversity. Initially, the people of Babel were united in language and purpose, which gave them immense power and capability. However, their unity led them to challenge God, attempting to build a tower that would reach the heavens. This act of rebellion prompted God to intervene, creating linguistic diversity and scattering the people. Jewish scholars often emphasize the importance of diversity as a divine plan. The dispersion of people and languages is seen as a way to encourage the development of different cultures and traditions, enriching human experience and fostering a more vibrant world. This perspective highlights the value of diversity and the belief that it was God's intention to create a world filled with varied peoples and languages, each contributing uniquely to the human story. In Islam, the story of the Tower of Babel is not directly mentioned in the Quran but is referenced in Islamic tradition. The Quran speaks of a similar incident involving the people of a great city who were arrogant and defied God's commands. Islamic scholars draw parallels between this account and the Tower of Babel, emphasizing themes of arrogance, divine retribution, and the importance of humility before God. In Islamic interpretation, the narrative serves as a cautionary tale about the limits of human power and the consequences of defying divine will. It reinforces the idea that all knowledge and power ultimately come from God, and any attempt to rival this divine authority is doomed to fail. The confusion of languages and the scattering of people are seen as a testament to God's control over human affairs and a reminder of the importance of submission to God's will. Beyond these specific religious traditions, the story of the Tower of Babel has inspired various theological debates and interpretations. Scholars and theologians have long discussed the implications of the story, examining what it reveals about human nature, divine justice, and the structure of the world. One significant area of discussion is the concept of linguistic diversity. The sudden emergence of different languages at Babel is often seen as a miraculous event, demonstrating God's power and control over creation. It raises questions about the nature of language and communication, how diverse languages can both unite and divide humanity. Theological interpretations suggest that while language diversity can create barriers, it also enriches human culture and fosters creativity. Another aspect of the story is the idea of human ambition and its limits. The Tower of Babel represents humanity's desire to achieve greatness and control its destiny. However, the divine intervention shows that there are boundaries to human power. This has led to reflections on the ethical implications of ambition and the importance of recognizing and respecting divine authority. The story also touches on themes of community and individuality. The initial unity of the people of Babel gave them strength, but it also led to collective pride and rebellion against God. The subsequent scattering forced people to form smaller communities with distinct identities. This shift from a single, unified group to a world of diverse cultures can be seen as a commentary on the balance between collective identity and individual uniqueness. In modern times, the Tower of Babel continues to resonate in various ways. It is often used as a metaphor for projects or endeavors that are overly ambitious and destined to fail. The phrase Babel has come to symbolize confusion and chaos, especially in communication. This reflects the ongoing relevance of the story in understanding human behavior and societal dynamics. Theological implications of the Tower of Babel story also extend to discussions about globalization and multiculturalism. As the world becomes more interconnected, the challenge of maintaining unity amidst diversity becomes increasingly relevant. The story prompts reflection on how we can embrace cultural differences while fostering a sense of global community. Ultimately, the story of the Tower of Babel invites us to reflect on our own lives and communities. It challenges us to consider the balance between ambition and humility, unity and diversity, and human effort and divine guidance. It encourages us to appreciate the richness that comes from diverse cultures and languages, while reminding us of the importance of humility and respect for the divine. Join us in exploring these themes further and share your thoughts on how the story of the Tower of Babel impacts your understanding of the world. Don't forget to watch our other videos on ancient civilizations and subscribe to Celestial Chronicles for more insightful explorations of our shared heritage. The Legacy of Babylon. The legacy of Babylon, particularly through the story of the Tower of Babel, has left an indelible mark on human history and culture. This ancient city, once the heart of a powerful empire, continues to captivate our imagination and influence various aspects of modern society. The story of Babel, with its profound themes and lessons, serves as a cornerstone in understanding the complexities of human ambition, cultural diversity, and the interplay between humanity and the divine. Babylon, located in modern-day Iraq, was one of the most influential cities of the ancient world. At its height, it was a center of commerce, culture, and innovation. The city was renowned for its impressive architecture, including the famous Hanging Gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These gardens, with their lush greenery and advanced irrigation systems, symbolized the ingenuity and aesthetic sensibility of the Babylonian civilization. The Tower of Babel, as described in the Bible, was an ambitious project undertaken by the people of Babylon. They sought to build a tower that would reach the heavens, a symbol of their collective ambition and unity. However, their plans were thwarted by divine intervention. God confused their language, causing them to speak different tongues and scatter across the earth. This act not only halted their construction but also gave rise to the multitude of languages and cultures that we have today. The story of the Tower of Babel has been interpreted in many ways over the centuries. For some, it is a cautionary tale about the dangers of human pride and the limits of our capabilities. The tower represents humanity's desire to reach beyond our natural limits, to challenge the divine, and to assert our dominance over the earth. This ambition, while admirable in some respects, is also seen as hubris, an overstepping of our bounds that ultimately leads to downfall. In another interpretation, the story highlights the importance of diversity. By scattering the people and giving them different languages, God ensured that humanity would develop a rich tapestry of cultures and traditions. This diversity is seen as a strength, a way for different groups to contribute unique perspectives and innovations to the human story. The scattering of people from Babel can be viewed as a divine plan to encourage creativity, resilience, and adaptability. The physical remains of Babylon, though largely ruins today, continue to tell the story of this once great city. Archaeological excavations have uncovered numerous artifacts and structures that provide insight into Babylonian life. These findings include cuneiform tablets that document legal, economic, and literary activities, revealing the complexity and sophistication of Babylonian society. The Ishtar Gate, with its stunning blue-glazed bricks and reliefs of dragons and bulls, stands as a testament to the artistic and architectural achievements of the Babylonians. The influence of Babylon extends far beyond its physical remnants. The city and its stories have permeated various aspects of culture, religion, and literature. In the Christian tradition, Babylon often symbolizes decadence and moral corruption, as seen in the Book of Revelation, where it is referred to as Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. This portrayal has influenced Western literature and art, where Babylon is frequently depicted as a cautionary example of the dangers of excess and vice. In literature, the Tower of Babel has been a powerful metaphor for various themes. Jorge Luis Borges, in his short story, The Library of Babel, uses the idea of an infinite library with countless books written in an unintelligible language to explore themes of knowledge, chaos, and the search for meaning. The story reflects on the human quest for understanding in a world that often seems incomprehensible, echoing the confusion of languages in the biblical Babel. The legacy of Babylon also manifests in modern discussions about globalization and cultural exchange. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, the challenge of navigating linguistic and cultural differences remains relevant. The story of Babel serves as a reminder of the potential for miscommunication and conflict but also highlights the value of embracing diversity. In a globalized world, the lessons of Babel encourage us to seek understanding and cooperation across cultural boundaries. Babylon's history and myths have also influenced modern political and social thought. The idea of a unified humanity, working together towards a common goal, has inspired various utopian visions and movements. Conversely, the story of Babel warns of the dangers of centralized power and the suppression of individual and cultural differences. These themes continue to resonate in contemporary debates about governance, identity, and social organization. The enduring legacy of Babylon can be seen in the way its stories and symbols are invoked in discussions about ambition, diversity, and the human condition. The Tower of Babel, in particular, serves as a powerful reminder of both our potential for greatness and the inherent limits of our endeavors. It challenges us to reflect on our motivations, the consequences of our actions, and the ways in which we navigate the complexities of a diverse world. As we look back on the legacy of Babylon, we are reminded of the city's significant impact on history and culture. The lessons from its stories continue to inform our understanding of human nature and our place in the world. By exploring the rich history and enduring myths of Babylon, we gain valuable insights into the timeless themes of ambition, diversity, and the delicate balance between human aspiration and divine order. Join us in reflecting on these themes and share your thoughts on how the legacy of Babylon influences your perspective on the world. Be sure to watch our other videos on ancient civilizations and subscribe to Celestial Chronicles for more explorations of our shared heritage.